Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks DIY Garage. I'm here with my Wildfire lift here, and I'm getting ready to change the fluid in here. Do I need to change the fluid? I honestly don't know. I have looked up, down, and sideways and haven't found a whole lot on any of these kind of motors as far as when you should change the fluid. Now, according to a few things, in professional shops, you should change it like after the first few hours or first week or something like that. I've heard from an hour to 7 days. But I've also heard once, every month, every 6 months, all these kind of things on this. And I do figure these motors got to break in, the pumps got to break in. There's probably some things in here floating around that I probably don't want going through my pump and all that kind of stuff. So I decided it's been a little over 6 months, but I've only really used it a good 6 months, maybe, as a homeowner, DIYer, not day-to-day professional. So I've chose at 6 months I'm going to put new fluid in here, and then I've heard after that, don't worry about it ever again, to you should do it every 6 months, you should do it every year, you should do it every so many hours. I would think hours, if you can find a specific hours, would be good, and it probably depends on the motor and pump and all that stuff that you have on your lift. So regardless, it's been about 6 months and I'm going to go ahead and change this. On this particular one, it actually does have a drain down here. And it appears to be a number 8 Allen wrench. I got a bucket sitting here that's hopefully strong enough to hold all the fluid, and hopefully big enough to hold all the fluid. I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm going to, and that's pretty easy there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and hope this is how it's supposed to be done. There is a O-ring in here. I'm kind of holding up on it until I tell it's going to come. Pulling it out. That really does not look bad at all. Now I do see some stuff down in here, so I may look at how difficult it is to pull this off, but quite honestly I don't know if I will. I'm going to have lunch and let this drain out, but there's still a decent amount on the bottom down here, and there is, if you look down in here, like a fluid hose. I don't know if it's like a return hose and then a pickup hose, and the pickup has a screen on the bottom of it, but there is a lot of sediment down underneath this thing, so I think I want to try and pull this off. This is where the little gear wrench is nice to have, although these are just barely, these are not tight at all. I have the bucket down here because I went ahead and left the drain open for now. Hoping that there's some other machine screws other than these going in there, and these are just holding on this, but yep. So that's definitely not long enough that it's going all the way up in here. So I believe that these little 8mm, whoop, well, at least it's fairly clean fluid, but I believe that these little 8mm bolts are just holding this on. There's, you can see there's a little black O-ring or something in here as well, so we got to be careful with that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull these apart and pull this off. That appears to be hanging there. Whether or not yours will do that, I don't know. Be real careful tightening these up. You're tightening, they were barely finger tight plus a little bit, and this is just plastic, so I should be able to shimmy this hopefully. There we go. And bring this down. And yeah, if you look, where you drain the fluid out at, there's like a little bump down in there. It sticks up a little bit to, I guess, keep all this in here, but see if I can give you a little bit of a look-see at this. Alright, so you can see down in there that there's quite a bit of stuff floating around in there that you probably don't want in your pump. And I don't know if I can clean out this filter. We'll take a look at that as well, but I'm definitely going to dump this out. Maybe put a little bit of clean fluid back in, rinse it out again, and dump that out again. I'm definitely glad I changed this out at 6 months. There's definitely more stuff in the bottom of this than I thought there would be. I found a fairly clean rig, as clean as I could find in my shop anyway. I'm pretty satisfied with how well it's come out. I don't see a lot of fluid or things in there. I kind of wiped this up a little bit on the top. I don't see anything in the filter that looks awful bad. So I am just going to go ahead and put her back together and hope nothing leaks. Pay attention to that O-ring. Definitely moves around a little bit, so you don't want to end up pinching it somewhere where it shouldn't be or moving it somewhere where it shouldn't be. And do these by hand as far as you can. I'm comfortable with that. Don't cross them, don't over tighten them, or you will break things. Better to, as I always say, I can always tighten it more if it leaks. I can't tighten it less if I strip it out or break something. Same thing with the plug on the bottom. I already put that in. I didn't even use that part of it. I just tightened it with the small part here, snugged it up. If I see it dripping or leaking a little bit, I will deal with that by tightening it up a little bit more. Now, as far as fluid, I showed me filling this up when I did my video on putting this together, one of those. I use this Mag 1 Evolution Performance. It's AW/ISO 32. In the instructions it says to use AW or ISO 32. This is both, so that's why I went with it, and I got it on Amazon for not very much money. I have it in that video. If somehow I figure out how to find the price fairly easily, I will put it price below. I also have half of one left, and these take 2.5. So I buy a box of 3, had a half of one. Hopefully I'll be able to only have to open up 2 of the other ones, and I'll have a full one for next time. So this has a full line here. In the instructions it says fill it up to the top of this, and the max line is right there, I believe. Actually, I think it's right there. So it is, yeah, it does actually, it says an inch below, and then there's a max line right here. So that's where you actually need to do it. I had to think about that for a minute. And I'm going to lift this up a bit here because it's up and dump out. So I am about that far from where I need to be, but I'm gonna go ahead and run this up and down and see if the fluid that might be left in the cylinder makes up that difference. We'll see. If not, I'll crack open my other one. I really don't want to crack open another one for that much difference. Well, I forgot to turn the camera on, and I started lifting this thing up, and it took a little while for it to suck up fluid, so I don't know how much fluid is actually in that thing, so I'm going to keep an eye on this and not let it go down below too far here if we get to the top. So I'm going to keep lifting it up. I let the motor rest for a little while because if it doesn't have fluid going through it, yeah, there definitely could be problems. So I don't know if it sucked in any air or anything like that, but it does seem to be working okay now. So I think just pulling that all off, it allowed some air to come in and get in the system. Alright, so that's all the way up. I'm going to drop it down. I'll move you just in case the leg gets hit. I'm going to drop it down and see where we're at here. Alright, well, it didn't bubble down, but it also didn't go all the way up. So I'm going to crack open another bottle. I'm going to fill this up. Now, pretty much that's what you need to do. I would recommend carefully, do it under your own caution, pulling this off and wiping that out if yours is like mine. Mine had quite a bit of sediment on the bottom. Probably 6 months from now, I'll take a look at it again, see if there is a bunch of sediment or anything down there. If it looks clean, because honestly the actual fluid looked very clean minus what was down in the bottom down here. And like I said, there's a filter in here that sits yay far off the bottom anyway, but still better safe than sorry. But if there's sediment in there, I'll probably do it in 6 months from now. You'll probably see that if I do my next 12-month, 1-year video or something like that, when I'm updating y'all on what's going on with this thing. Like I said, I have a video of putting this all together. I have several videos on this and a 6-month video either out or coming up on what I think of it and a few things here and there that I needed to do to it. I also have a video I'm working on, which is probably going to take a little while, on different mods and hacks, so to speak. Not really hacking it, but modifications and things I want to do to this to make it more user-friendly for me personally and those kind of things. So keep an eye out for those. Best way to see my videos is to go to my channel, go to the playlist section, and in the playlist section I have, I don't know, 30 or so plus different video titles of the different things I do in this shop, as well as some DIY homeowner stuff. And specifically, there is a wildfire lift video that has all my videos on this. So if you enjoyed this, go check out those. Thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.